2024 is off to a lightning start when it comes to IRS updates. Today, I'm going to give you a rundown of everything you might have missed from the beginning of the year. Make sure to watch the full video because one of these updates could affect your wallet. Here are all the IRS updates for 2024 so far. IRS penalty relief. The IRS is stepping up to provide some much needed relief for folks dealing with taxes from 2020 and 2021. Here's the lowdown. If you owe less than $100,000 for those tax years, you might just see your failure to pay penalties automatically vanish. That's right, you don't have to lift a finger. Individuals, businesses, big and small, estates, trusts, and tax-exempt groups, if you fit the bill and got a balance due notice in the specified period, you're in the clear. But what if your tax bill tipped over $100,000? Automatic relief isn't in the cards, unfortunately. However, you've still got options like seeking penalty abatement through reasonable cause or a first-time penalty abatement. The IRS is clear on one thing, though. Don't drag your feet if you get a notice. Ignoring it could lead to some serious IRS actions. And if you're in a tight spot, unable to clear your tax bill in one go, the IRS has a few aces up its sleeve. Payment plans, offers and compromises, or even temporarily putting collections on hold if you're really struggling. Just remember, even if they hit the pause button, the meter on penalties and interest keeps running. So here's what you should do. Check your IRS transcript to see where you stand with your 2020 and 2021 taxes. Make sure the IRS has your current address, and if you've still got a balance looming over you, consider setting up a payment plan or looking into other available options. The idea is to avoid extra penalties and keep the IRS off of your back. IRS relief for ERC credits. There's also good news for businesses. The IRS has rolled out a new lifeline for businesses that might have jumped the gun claiming the Employee Retention Credit, the ERC. It seems a mix of bad marketing and some not so solid tax advice led some businesses astray. But here's the good news. The IRS is giving these businesses a chance to make things right without the usual heavy penalties or interest. But there's a catch. This offer is on the table only until March 22nd, 2024. So if you're in this boat, you'll want to act fast. The deal is you repay 80% of what you receive from the ERC. Why 80%? Well, it turns out a lot of businesses were charged hefty fees, up to 20% by pushing these claims. Eligibility-wise, you're in the clear if you're not tangled up in any criminal investigations or IRS employment tax exams, and haven't gotten any demanding letters from the IRS about your ERC claim. If you've outsourced your payroll, your provider will need to step up and apply on your behalf. Applying is pretty straightforward. Grab all the info on your ERC claim. Fill out Form 15434 and zip it over to the IRS using their secure upload tool. If a third party handles your payroll, they've got to do this part for you. Once you submit, the IRS will get in touch with you to walk through the next steps. And if everything checks out, you'll get a closing agreement to sign. Missed the deadline? Don't sweat it too much. You've still got options like dealing with the IRS demand letters or withdrawing your ERC claim if you haven't cashed in that refund yet. And remember, audits could be on the horizon, so it's smart to give your tax returns a thorough once-over. Child tax credit rumors. So there's some buzz around Capitol Hill about this big $78 billion tax package that's just made its way through the House. Now, this isn't just any tax package. It's got some tweaks to the child tax credit that could mean a whole lot, especially for families. If this thing gets the green light, we're talking about eligible families pocketing an average tax cut of about $680 for 2023. But here's the deal. It's not a done deal yet. The House hit pause on it while they're out on recess, so it's a bit of a waiting game right now. Let's break down how this child tax credit currently works. Basically, for 2023, you can get up to $2,000 per kid under 17. But it starts to phase out if you're making over $200K on your own or $400,000 as a married couple filing together. And if you're not owing a lot of tax, you might only see a part of that credit, up to $1,600 as a refund. Now here's where the proposed changes come into play. If this bill passes, it's gonna shake things up, especially for the folks at the lower end of the income scale. We're talking about bumping up that refundable part of the credit year by year. $1,800 for 2023, $1,900 for 2024, and $2,000 for 2025. And there's this new way that they want to calculate it, based on each child, which means more cash in the pockets of families with a bunch of kids. And they're planning to adjust that $2,000 for inflation too. Important note, if this did pass, they would not implement it for the current tax year. There have been tons of videos telling folks to wait to file their taxes because of this bill. If it passes, it will not go into effect right away. The IRS never does that. It would be implemented the following year. Crypto 10K reporting. So there's been a bit of a breather for the folks in the crypto world recently. The IRS was all set to roll out these new rules where businesses would have to report any crypto transactions over $10,000. This was part of a big plan from the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, and it was supposed to kickstart and at the start of the year. Businesses were gearing up to use this Form 8300, which has been around for a while for reporting large cash transactions. You know, to keep an eye on money laundering and tax dodging. But now this form was going to cover crypto transactions too. But here's the cool part. The IRS actually changed their mind about Form 8300. They dropped an announcement saying, we're not ready to have these digital asset payments reported on Form 8300 just yet. They're planning to roll out some specific regulations and update the forms to make sure everything makes sense for the digital world. So for now, it's a sigh of relief for the crypto community. The IRS stepping back to rethink the rules means there's a chance we'll get a setup that actually fits the unique nature of crypto transactions. That's all the news for 2024 so far. Did we miss any events? Comment them below. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure to like and subscribe.